The New York Rangers have signed Ty Emberson, a right-handed defenseman prospect, to a one-year contract extension, which is it's a good move. It is a good move by Drury. This is a depth right-handed defenseman, and with the Rangers currently lack some right-handed defenseman depth, I think this is a fantastic move, bringing him back. I mean, I figured we would anyways, but I think this is a really good deal. Unfortunately, though, he will have to clear through waivers because he's entering his fourth year of pro and he's signing his entry-level contract at the age of 20. So that is kind of the issue there. He's already played 3 seasons of pro hockey, so considering he's going into his fourth and he's signing it at the age of 20, now he has to be go through waivers. So we'll have to send him down, obviously, and he'll have to go through waivers. And hopefully he does not get claimed, but it is possible because it's a one-year deal. He's a 23-year-old, good two-way defender. I think it's possible he could get claimed, but hopefully he doesn't. That'd be absolutely fantastic if he didn't. But I do think it's possible that he can fall down just because a lot of teams might not like him or whatever for whatever reason. I think he's a pretty solid, defensive kind of guy. Decent offensively, but more defensive than offensive. I think he's a bit underrated by most Rangers fans, especially considering our depth. I mean, he's a solid guy. He's probably our top depth kind of D-man on the right side right now. Last year, he won the Defensive Defenseman of the Year in the AHL Eastern Conference last year, so was the best defensive defenseman in the Eastern Conference in the AHL last year. That's pretty fantastic to see. I mean, this is a guy who's only 23 years old, earned that award being one of the best defensive defensemen in the entire AHL last year is something to take note of. He also had a pretty good season last year. He had played 69 games for the Hartford Wolfpack and had 27 points and was a plus 17. So I think that's pretty good. 7 goals, 20 assists. Those numbers are pretty fantastic. Solid offensive numbers, nothing insane, but decent numbers offensively. And plus 17 and playing some really good defensively. That is something to take note of. He was fantastic for Hartford last year. Helped them go into a bit of a playoff run. Didn't do too much in the playoffs. Had 9 games played, 5 points. So had a pretty good playoff run. Unfortunately, the Hartford Wolfpack didn't go too far, but making it out of the first round was kind of cool to see. But I do think that he had a really good year last year, and this is a good depth signing. This is not going to be a guy who's going to play a crap them. But if he does, if there's an injury here or there with Schneider, Foxy, or Trouba, I do think that this is kind of a guy who I'd like to see called up. Right now, like I said, there's kind of just 2 guys in that depth. Call up really eligible. You'd want to call up to be a depth guy on that right-handed side, and that is Mac Hollowell, who had a bit of time with the Leafs last year, like 10 games played or something like that. Didn't do the best, but was decent. Played with the Marlies last year as well in the AHL. The Leafs farm team. So not bad. He's a depth guy as well. So those 2 are 2 top right-handed defenseman depth guys right now. I'd probably give the edge to Emberson, especially with how good of a season he had last year in Hartford and him being with the organization for already a year. I think it makes sense to call him up if we have to over Mac Hollowell. But they're both solid guys, nothing insane, but definitely both just kind of solid right-handed defensemen. Mac Hollowell is also only 24 as well, so both of them are fairly young still in their early mid to mid 20s, so not bad at all. And definitely, I do think that Ty Emberson, like I said, he had a good year last year. He came over in the Patrick Nemeth deal when we traded that second-round pick in Nemeth and all that good stuff to offload that kind of awful contract. So we got him back. He's a pretty solid young guy. I mean, he's not old by any means. Played 3 years at University of Wisconsin. Was a captain his last year there. Has played a few years in the AHL now. Obviously, like I said, he's been there for 3 years. So in pro hockey, so he's gonna have to go through waivers. But if he gets through waivers, I am definitely gonna be very happy because this is gonna be our top right-handed defenseman kind of call up. I'm guessing. I do think he's a pretty solid player. Nothing insane, but definitely I think one day can definitely be a solid, probably bottom pairing right-handed defenseman. Be a solid 2-way guy, a bit more defensive, maybe be like a second penalty kill kind of guy. That's definitely possible. But I think that for this season, he's gonna be able to provide some solid depth. He's not gonna be a top 4 D-man for this team, but when he gets called up, I think if he does, I think he probably will, more than likely, man, unless Foxy, Schneider, and Trouba all play 82 games, I got to imagine he's probably going to get a shot here or there. So I do think that if we see him, he'll be a solid depth guy, won't be a complete liability back there. He'll play some good defensive hockey, not going to bring a whole lot offensively, but a bit offensively. He has a pretty good shot as well. 7 goals last year, not bad. But overall, solid depth D-man and probably one of our top right-handed defensemen depth, if not the top guy. Him and Hollowell are really only right-handed defensemen there and depth-wise, so I do think that he'll probably earn that top right-handed defenseman depth spot if he clears waivers, and that's the big if he does, because he's only 23 years old, and he won AHL Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Defenseman of the Year, and a former third-round pick, so it's definitely possible he could get picked up by a team, but hopefully he follows through waivers and comes to us, because I do think that he's a pretty solid depth D-man. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, please smash the like button, and definitely comment down below your guys' thoughts on the Rangers extending Ty Emerson. Do you like this deal? Because personally, I think it's a great move. He's going to be some solid depth, and he's young as well, so maybe If he can flash some talent here or there, it is definitely possible. Thanks for watching, and see ya.